Hey everybody, and welcome to today's video about making a custom UI for Zbrush. Now, one of the things that usually deters people away from using Zbrush is that as soon as they open Zbrush, this is what they usually are greeted with. You have all of these options all over the place, and it can look a bit daunting at first sight. Now, the thing with Zbrush is it's a very customizable program. It can basically make any kind of a UI that is going to be custom tailored to your needs. For example, I'm going to show you how to create a totally custom UI with that's only going to be showing you the buttons that you need. For it, first of all, I'm going to start with Lightbox. I'm going to click this button, so it's going to remove this ribbon over here. Alright, so the first thing that we need to do if we want to make a custom UI is we're going to have to go up in Preferences. From here, go down to the Config, and from here I'm going to click on Restore Standard UI. That is going to basically remove any customization I've done. I've only made a few minor changes, but nothing too major. So this is basically what you should have when you start with Zbrush. So let's choose, first off, let's go off to Preferences, and now I'm going to drop down to Interface and down to UI. Now here's the thing, this here is the first thing that you want to change depending on how big you want to have your buttons. For the default size, I think it's set at 48. So if you have a smaller working field, like if you're using a Cintiq, then you might want to decrease this. So I guess you can go as low as 38, which is going to leave you with a very small buttons, or you can leave it at 40, which is going to give you this message that the UI will be adjusted the next time you start Zbrush. Alright, so before we do that, let's make sure that we get this down to 40, and okay, we need to restart Zbrush. So I'll go ahead and restart Zbrush. And as soon as I restarted Zbrush, you can see that all of the buttons got visibly smaller. Now the next thing that we want to check over here is when we're in Preferences and back to Custom UI, back to Config. Let's just see that something. Okay. We want to come over here and click on this button where it says Enable Customize. As soon as you click this, notice what is going to happen all over. Everything is going to move just a tiny bit around. So Enable Customize, and as you can see, everything just kind of shifted downwards. Now, once you're in the Customize, or once you have the Enable Customize, what you have an option now. Mainly, you can start to move things around. But how do you do it? Well, it's quite easy. All you have to do is come over to something that you want to move. For example, let's see if we can move all of these buttons away. And the way to do it is you press Control and Alt. And now when you click, you can basically drag any button wherever you want wherever you want to place it. For example, let's move these upwards. I'm just gonna move them away from here so I can then put them wherever I need them. So I'm just relocating them for now. Alright, perspective, floor. And you're gonna notice that as I'm moving them around, it's kind of moving all over the place. It's giving me this stepping look, which we're going to explain what it does in a second. I just need to move or finish moving these guys around. Alright, move this up here as well. Alright, I'm going to leave the frame, move, scale, rotate. No, the frame can go up as well. Alright, so I have my move, scale, and rotate, polyframe, Nah, I'm gonna move it here as well. Ghost transparency, solo mode, I'm gonna leave it expose view. Nah, move it upwards. Activate edit opacity. Nope. Okay, so once we have all of these moved up here like this, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put in something so I have something in edit mode so I can see the rest of the options so they're not grayed out. So the easiest way would be to go to Lightbox. From here, just choose, let's just choose this Dynamax. Double click and it's going to leave me with this look like this. Alright, now as you can see, all of the buttons are active, they're not grayed out. The reason why they were grayed out is that we didn't have anything in our scene that was in edit mode. But since now that we have this, everything is active. Alright, so what I want to do here is I want to take my buttons from here. So I'm going to take my edit. So hold down again, hold down Control and Alt, click and drag until you have them in a position that you want to have them. All right. Okay. Click the draw one. Okay. Move. Scale. And you're going to notice as I'm pulling to the side, when they come over here, they snap at the beginning. But if I hold down and just pull it backwards, it kind of creates a little stepping, or yeah, a stepping look. If we continue on like this, we're gonna get this stepping look. If you want to have them all in a simple line, you just click and you snap it back at the beginning like this. And now all of them are snapped here. Okay. Well, since I want to have them in 2 rows over here, the way to do it would be, the easiest way would be to get these guys over on this side. So click and drag them over here. And now you can see that we have a lot more space, which means in turn that we can dock these guys next to these. So the move to the move, the scale to the scale, and the rotate to the rotate. Now if you're wondering why I'm putting both of these next to each other, well, they're actually different options. These are the transpose tools, while these are the move, the scale, and the rotate for the edited object. So the draw and edit, I'm gonna put them next to each other like this. Okay, now I'm gonna pull these guys as well to this side. Alpha and the texture. Right, the material. All right. Again, here is the stepping issue. So make sure you don't make that an issue for yourself. Move the ghosting upwards here. The solo, you actually do use this. So I'm going to put it over here. And now just move it downwards so we get more place up here that we can use it for whatever we need. All right, this goes up here, and this goes up here. All right, so we're left with this side looking like this. This one is basically the color picker. So I can either choose to use this, or I'm going to put it below here like this. I'm going to take my light box, I'm going to put it on the bottom. And now here's the thing, any button that you don't want to have on your UI, you can get rid of it. All you have to do is hold down Control and Alt, click on the button you don't want to use, and drag and drop it here. So if you drag and drop in the user interface, it will disappear. I don't use those too. Well, I do use them sometimes, but not casually enough so I have them laying around on my UI. All right, now the gradient picker, the alternate color, nah. Switch color, nope. Gradient, nope. Secondary color and main color, don't really need those now. All right, as soon as we cleaned those guys off, you can see that we have this side cleaned up, so we can use it for whatever we want to put there. All right, so let's see what else I don't need from here. Well, the BPR, I do want to have it laying around somewhere. You can put it over here. The BPR and activate edit opacity. Nope. Local symmetry. Why not? I'm gonna put it over here, and all of these guys, the other ones, perspective distortion. We do want to have the perspective distortion, and all of these guys that we don't actually always or usually need, we can simply click and drag them off like this, like we said. Oh, let's see. The ghost transparency, I can leave that one. Transpose, polyframe, move this around. Again, actual size, zoom, scroll, frame. I actually use the shortcut F, and that's okay. Alright, move it downwards just so it's not poking through the top. Okay. Fine, stay there. Okay. Now once we have those done, I can take this floor and the local one, put them over there. Ghost transparency, we can remove that. All right, we are slowly getting somewhere. All right, so now the next thing we're gonna set up is our materials. So in order to put in some materials around, I'm gonna click over here, which is going to open up this divider. If you don't have materials docked over here, you can simply click on material, click on this little button over here and move it to the side. Now, I can put a few of my most used materials over here for ease of picking. For example, when I click on material, I do have some that I use quite a bit. I have Ralph Stump's materials over here. You can see the RS ones. Now I'm pretty sure that if you're just starting off with ZBrush, you don't have these materials, but I think I've gotten these like ages ago. They were like $25 or something. They are amazing materials, but you can choose whichever you want. For example, I do tend to use this one quite a bit. It's the Gray Clay Light. So I'm going to click on it, and you can see that as soon as I clicked on it, it became active here, and it added this little ball over here. So what this allows me is, so I can press again Control and Alt, and now I can drag this over here like this. And for example, let me just find a few more here, like the Sky Metal. So I can Control Alt and drag it from, well, actually cannot drag it from there, but I have to choose it. It's going to add it over here, and now just drag and drop it over here. Now don't do the mistake of dragging this, because if you drag this, you're not dragging the material, but you're actually opening up the quick pick. We don't want this, so we just want to drag in the small material balls. All right, let's go ahead and just find a few more. Well, the Skin Shade 4 is one of the more used ones. So the Skin Shade 4, I can take that one, drop it in as well. Make sure it's snapped. Now here's another thing. If you don't want to have these materials look so big, you can make them smaller. in order to make them smaller, you can go back to Preferences, drop down to Interface. Let me just find it. Well, all right, Interface, UI, and from here you just click on this button over here where it says White Buttons. As soon as you press it, you're gonna notice that these guys just got smaller, which is in turn leaving you with the option to set in more materials here that you like. So just find some, the red metallic one is nice. So let's go, click it here. Another one would be for me, well, the Matcap Skin 4 is fine for modeling. This one you should have. So, and then we just choose another one random, the blue chrome, whatever. Okay. So now once you have all of these, you can just click on any of them for quick application to whatever you're working on. So you don't have to always go ahead and scour around on your materials. All right, and now since we already have the materials, let's jump over and add a few more brushes. All right, and let's close the tool. For the brushes, I'm going to open up my stroke. Nope. Nope, brush. And dock it on any side. It's either left, right, or the right one, doesn't really matter. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing that we did with the materials. So instead of choosing materials, we're going to choose some of the brushes. I'm going to open up, or I'm going to click on the brush, and I'm going to choose some of the brushes that we usually use. So from here, I guess the standard one, so BST, here we go, standard one. You have it over here. Control Alt and drag it into position. For example, let's put it over here. Let's choose Damien standard B, so BD. S for Damien standard. All right, from here, drag it in. Make sure it's snapped so we don't get that stepping. Okay, what else should we add? BCB, clay buildup. Okay, awesome. Okay, next one I guess would be, well, pretty much you can put any brush that you choose to use or you want to have a quick access to it. For example, let's go with the H polish. Again, click and drag, put it here, and you have a very easy way to access any of these brushes. So I tend to use the shortcuts for any brush by hitting the actual buttons. For example, if I want to go to clay buildup, I go BCB and I enter that brush. But if you don't want to use the keyboard, you can just set your most used brushes over here and you can just click on them and get them to be like really easy to access. There you go. Very easy to use. So once we have everything up and running, it's a good idea to do a little bit of more cleanup. So I'm gonna move these guys maybe down here. All right, mRGB, RGB, and the RGB intensity. Can we go down? The Z intensity over here. Z add, Z sub, and the Z cut. Well, I don't actually use that one. Now you have the active points and total points, which is a nice indicator telling you how much you have poly count in your scene. It's always a good idea to have this somewhere around. You can always just come over to your tool, when you go over here, on top of it, you get to see the polys and points count. But again, it's a good thing if you want to have, or you want to keep this somewhere visible. You can just go ahead and do something like, I don't know, maybe drop it over here, total points and active points. It's a good thing to have it visually around the focal shift and the draw size. It can be removed, it can be left around. Always, you can just press the space bar and you get access to all of these options right away. Now the other thing that you probably don't have is these three buttons. I have the lazy mouse and the backface masking. I usually take these from the stroke, which is over here, the lazy mouse, and I have this. So here's another thing that I didn't mention, is that you don't only have the ability to take any of the already existing buttons in your user interface, but you can actually go in and jump into any of these menus, and from there choose to take whatever button you need. For example, like you saw me over here, when I went over in the stroke, in the lazy mouse, I can click on Alt and Control and just drag out the buttons I need, and that way I'm going to create a shortcut. So my lazy mouse, I can put it, I don't know, down over here. The lazy radius, I'm going to put it beneath it, like this, and the only thing that I left here is the backface masking. And with this, I haven't set up over here. All right. Okay, so we have all of these buttons. I'm going to move these down here so they stay like this. Nothing's poking through. And as soon as I'm done with everything, I can jump over to Preferences, go down to Config, and enable Customize. So this is going to turn off the Enable option. So now I have everything back in position. We don't have any more of that extra edge or extra padding, and I'm left with something like this. As you can see, a totally custom UI tailored to my needs. And as soon as we have everything set up the way we want it, all we have to do is go up to Preferences, then we go to Config, and click on Save UI. From here, you want to find where you've saved your program, so program files, Pixelogic, Zbrush R7, or whatever version you're working on at the moment. For me, it's R7. If you're watching this in the future, it might be R8 or 5, whatever. And from here, just scroll down to Z Startup over here. Go down to User Interface Layouts. There you go. And here, just save it as custom, I don't know, training user interface, UI. Click on Save. UI configuration has been successfully saved. All right, awesome. And now I'm going to go over to Document, click on New Document. No, I don't want to change anything. This is going to make sure that our working sheet is as big as our screen. Once we do that, I'm going to go over to Document again, make sure that if in case your range was set to something like this, which is the default, move it back to 0. And with this, save. You click on Save as Startup Document, like this. Okay, and that should more or less cover. Oh, actually, no. There's one more thing, and that would be, once you are in the preferences, you can jump down to go over to, where was it? There it is, eye colors. Well, preferences, eye colors. Now what this does is it's going to allow you to change the color of pretty much anything that you see over here. So for this, let me just go open up the divider, and here I'm gonna go to my color picker, put it on the side like this. Okay, so preferences again. Now the push button, for example, if I click on it and drag, it's going to allow me to choose whatever color I want to have for my buttons. For example, if I want to have, I don't know, bluish color like this. So again, for the second one, I can choose green, and you're gonna notice that as soon as I change that color to something else, all of my push buttons are now green. Again, it all kind of depends on what or how you want your UI to look like. For example, bluish kind of looks cool. So you can just go ahead and scroll through these options. They're pretty much well defined, and you can make a totally custom UI that is going to suit your needs, and it's going to be to your liking. It doesn't have to be gray. You can have any kind of background that you wish to have. So now the only thing that we want to change here might be the default or the menus that we want to have when ZBrush starts. So if I want to have my tool here, which is okay, I can choose to have my brushes beneath. I can take my Z plugin for ease of access, so click and drag it beneath it, and then I can leave the color on this side, material on this side. Let's close them down. I can make sure my tool is open. I can close this, and now I can press Ctrl-Shift-I. Master configuration has been saved, and now every time I open ZBrush, this is what I'm going to be greeted from. Alright, so once we have everything done, like we said, we can save it, or if we don't want to use this user interface anymore, we can choose to scroll through some of the presets that come with ZBrush by choosing on any of these two little buttons. So by clicking here, I can see I have different interface colors. There we go. So these colors are basically just changing how our selection is going to look like by basically what we showed in the preferences and the eye colors. There we go. There we go. This is the default one. And for this, now I'm going to go over to preferences, custom UI, config, and I'm going to load the UI. From here, I'm going to change my minimal changes and revert it back to what I had in the beginning. So there we go, back to what we started off from at the beginning. So with that, we can put a wrap to our video, and we did cover quite a bit. So if you guys enjoyed watching this video, then don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, because it really does help a lot. Again, I hope you guys had fun watching this video. More importantly, you managed to learn something new. And that would be it for today. So you guys take care, and I will see you all in the next video.